Okay. Alright, so I don't look that great right now because I got back from the Pride Parade and crashed, but I had like these 3 worst nightmares ever, but they were kind of funny, so I thought I'd record it rather than type it out on like a really long colossal message on Facebook. So, getting right down to it, the first one involved our whole little Pride group, everyone that went, except for Graham. I'm sorry, Graham. And it was like we were at this Halloween party in some hotels, right? Or like apartments. And we were like almost all girls except for Dan. And we were like realizing that all the guys that were there, because there weren't that many, but just like the little handful of them that there were turning on the groups of girls and like kidnapping them or killing them. And we're like, oh shit. And so we don't know how we got Dan in there with us. We're really lucky. So we convinced him to like act like he's one of them and lead us to safety. So like we're like trying to get to his car and he's just like, oh yeah, wink wink, we're gonna take them to a party, wink wink, and the guys are like, oh yeah, wink wink, and the rest of us are like, oh shit, don't be too obvious, Dad, but we weren't gonna say it. So we kept walking and stuff, right? And like Renelle and Hillary both like bail on us to go dig through this recycling dumpster, and we're like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And Ray doesn't answer. She just starts digging through this dumpster and she looks really pissed off, so we're not sure, but she's looking for something. I keep yelling because I'm like a nagger. I was like, Hillary, what the fuck are you doing? And she's just like, I'm trying to find something for my colon. And I was like, wait, what? And she pulls out this gigantic fucking sausage from the recycling dumpster. And I was like, you need a sausage for your colon? It might have been her kidney or something. It was weird. It was just something like internal that was complicated. And I was like, okay, but she takes this giant sausage, and I'm like, we're kind of on the way not to die right now, so that wasn't really important. And then we realized Ray's still in the dumpster, and we're like, God damn it. So after a while, I finally grab her, and we walk to the car, and one of Megan's ex-boyfriends come up, this hot Asian guy, and we're like, I mean, it wasn't one of the real ones, it was just some hot Asian guy that presumably Megan had dated, and I don't know, it was really great, but he was really suspicious, right? And so we're like, oh God, he's one of them. And so we're just talking to him all casually so he's not onto us. We're like, oh yeah, Dan's taking us to this really fancy party downtown. We're so excited. Are you going to be there? And he was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be there. Wink, wink. And then he looks at Dan, wink, wink. And we're like, what the fuck are they winking so much for? And then he decides to come with us. And we're like, oh fuck, now we have to go downtown and die. But we're like, no we don't, because Dan comes into the car with this gigantic box of knives. And we're like, oh fuck. And so we put them in the back seat, like behind me, which I was like, this is gonna suck if we like hit a bump or something, but luckily we didn't, because the Asian guy starts asking too many questions. Like he's just like, they all think you're their friend, Dad, because we're in the car and it's okay now. And he's like, you all think Dan's your friend? And we're like, yeah, I guess. And then Dan's like, well, that's what you think, and he reaches back, and I'm not sure what he's doing, and then he goes like this, I'm like, oh, and I hand him a knife, and then go like this, and I guess he kills Megan's boyfriend, and that was terrifying, because I could still hear the stabbing, and I was like, oh my God, but he killed Megan's ex-Asian boyfriend, and then like, after a ways out of town, we kicked him out of the car, and he went rolling, and we're like, oh my God, that Asian guy is dead. And that was dream number 1. Dream number 2, oh fuck, what was dream number 2? Dream number 2 was about being in Hungary, like in Europe, and I was staying with this Hungarian family, like a mother and a daughter. They were trying to wheedle me out of like a shit ton of money. Like they kept offering all this really nice hospitable stuff for me, and then they would charge me for it. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like we were in the backyard and they're like, hey, we have this really cool rifle, you want to shoot it? And I guess that's kind of because of Graham, because Graham took me shooting a couple weeks ago, so I was like, oh. But I was like, yeah, cool, and it was like really awesome. It had this like hilarious, like, where the hell it is when you shoot and there's like a, I don't know, but it had one of those, and I fired off these bullets, and it was really cool. They gave me these really cool bullets. It was like pop, 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 and I was like, woo, this is so much fun. And then they were like, yeah, they're really expensive bullets, and it's nice that you enjoyed them. And I was like, oh, well, if they're expensive, then let me compensate you for them. They're like, oh, that's good, because they're $1,000. And I was like, I don't have $1,000. What the fuck is that? And then we were driving to McDonald's for a chicken sandwich, and for some reason that fucking chicken sandwich was like hella expensive. I don't remember how much, but a lot. And I was like, Like, I know I'm American, but even in America, this is a lot of money, so what the fuck? And my friend Tony from Croatia was there. I guess because it was Europe, I just assumed Tony would be there. And he worked at the McDonald's along with this really fat chick, but she was nice because I guess I had met her in the dream previously. She was like, hey, nice to see you again. I was like, hey, Hungarian chick, it's nice to see you too. And the last thing I remember was that in Hungary, apparently they had like these pygmy rabbits with wings that would fly and chase like rats and shit. And it was really cute but disturbing. So I was like, rodents are eating rodents. This is weird, but I guess they do that anyway, so meh. And then the third dream was kind of simple, which I guess everyone can probably relate to this. I had this dream where I was like driving on the freeway, and in the desert it's all like mesa on the sides and shit. So like some asshole behind me, New Mexican driver, was like riding my ass, and for some reason I got really nervous and like pulled off the road, but because the mesa is full of cactus and other bullshit, all four of my tires just exploded, and I was like, oh fuck. And I was like, how am I gonna tell my family that we have to spend like $500 to $1,000 on new tires? And it was like devastating because that's a lot of money. Anyway, I just woke up and wanted to record that, and I'll post it on Facebook, but yeah. Okay, I should do this more often. And my nose is sunburned, isn't it cute? I don't know.